So you're considering buying or building a rock buggy, but you don't know where to start. Well, the first thing you need to decide is what type of rock buggy you want. Yep, you guessed it. There's different types of rock buggies that have different purposes depending on intended use. This video will go over some of the different types of rock buggies so you can make a more informed decision. The first type of rock buggy is known as a Truckie or a Juggy. This is basically a trucker Jeep that's been cut up and made into a dedicated rock crawler. Although these are the cheapest and arguably the easiest buggies to build or buy, they're also the least effective of all the type of buggies at crawling in the rocks. Most Truckies and Juggies have limited suspension and link geometry options because of the factory frame rails, the cab, and drivetrain configuration. Most of these builds have horrible anti-squat, tall belly heights, a bad center of gravity, funky link geometry, weight issues, and compromised shock mounting. Although some of these rigs are well done and work really good, most of them flop frequently and bounce uncontrollably on ledges. My advice, save your time and money. Keep your Jeep a Jeep and your truck a truck, for hunting trips or for trail rides with the family. If you want to go extreme in the rocks, build or buy a dedicated buggy for that purpose. A moon buggy is a pure technical rock crawler. Cage design, drivetrain, and axles are designed to keep weight and size to a minimum, which is why a lot of these are single-seaters. Suspension is designed to be low and stable with lots of anti-squat and tons of down travel. Weight distribution is carefully calculated and it often ends up with a buggy that's mid or rear engine. The same things that make a moon buggy great for technical rock crawling make them horrible for high-speed runs to trailhead, horrible for snow and mud wheeling, and horrible for carrying gear on longer off-road trips. Like the moon buggy, the rock bouncer is a specialized buggy. Rock bouncers are built to tackle big, nasty, muddy, sloppy, loose rock and dirt, log-infested, steep-ass hills. They do this with a combination of horsepower, traction, big balls, and a rig built to handle extreme abuse. These rigs are not built with finesse or technical driving in mind. These cages are normally constructed with 3 times the amount of tube necessary to protect a normal buggy. The engines are frequently over 600 horsepower and sometimes over 1,000 horsepower, and they use the biggest, toughest axles that can be used in the application. They are great for killing hills, but the heavy weight, poor visibility, and extra long wheelbase make them horrible for places like the rock gardens and canyons out west. The Ultra 4 rig is half trophy truck and half rock buggy. Their suspension can handle big whoops, their engines can hit 130 miles per hour across dry lake beds, and they can corner at high speed on short courses. Yet, they could still crawl through some big rocks. Although they can do some rock crawling, they really don't do it as well as a moon buggy or a trail buggy. The trailing arms, suspension stiffness, high gearing, heavy weight, poor visibility, and tires of the Ultra 4 buggy are a great compromise between going fast in the open desert and climbing through the rocks, but it is a compromise. And unfortunately, many of these compromises work against these buggies in the rocks, and I frequently watch them struggle on trails that Jeeps frequently crawl with ease. And now that the trend in Ultra 4 buggies is IFS, their rock crawling heritage is left even further behind. They're almost to the point of not being a rock buggy at all anymore. The trail buggy is a general purpose rock buggy. It does a good job crawling the big rocks in Johnson Valley and Sand Hollow. It can blast across the desert to the trailheads. It can run through the woods. It can go on weekend camping trips to places like the Rubicon Trail. It can have fun in the mud and snow. Yet it's simple, easy to drive, and easy to work on. The trail buggy is just at home crawling with the moon buggies as it is out on a trail run with a group of Jeeps. For 95% of the people out there wanting to take the next step up and get a rock buggy, The general purpose trail buggy is the type of buggy that they want. Now, the main reason I made this video was because I see a lot of folks getting into off-roading and going straight to the rock buggy. You know, in the old days, people started with stock Jeeps or Toyota trucks and, you know, grew their builds with their experience on the trail over time. You know, unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more people getting straight into off-roading by going to the off-road classifieds like on Pirate 4x4 or rockbuggies.com, you know, and buying a rock buggy for their first off-road rig without any experience off-roading or with any type of off-road rig in the past. You know, I'm also seeing a lot of current off-roaders wanting to step up to a buggy rather than cutting up and destroying a perfectly good Jeep. And you know what? They're pretty smart in that way of thinking too. But, you know, they don't have a clue as to what to buy or build. You know, a rock bouncer would be of little use to a guy in Los Angeles, just like a moon buggy would be of little use to a guy living in Alabama. You know, I know a guy in Los Angeles, and, you know, he went out on the classifieds and he bought a single-seat moon buggy, you know, and now he regrets it because, you know, his rig sucks for blasting through Johnson Valley to get to outer limits and the trailheads back there, you know, and it doesn't have enough room to take his son camping with us on the Rubicon Trail and Fordyce. So, you know, he really regrets buying that, you know, and this video was made for those kinds of people, you know, and hopefully it helps you make a more informed decision, you know, and as always, thanks for watching and keep the rubber side down.